What's up, and welcome to episode 158 of Life in Motion. I've got Chelsea Russell Ice with me from Ozark Greenways. Through hundreds of miles of trails, they're connecting people with the outdoors, each other, and the places that they want to go. I'm also thrilled to announce that Ozark Greenways is July's nonprofit partner, which means 20% of all sales from illumincollect.com will be donated to support their mission. I'm excited to hear about their impact as well as what the community collection means to them. Chelsea, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome as a kind of a fangirl of all of your merchandise and all of your partnerships. So it's a real honor to be on.
Yes, well, I appreciate that for that support and that capacity, and then also, of course, what you're doing at Ozark Greenways. And I know there's a lot to get into with that and kind of the impact that you're having on the community. But before we do that, let's kind of introduce yourself, where you're from, grew up, and kind of what got you involved in the outdoor space, kind of this capacity in the first place.
Well, thank you for asking. I actually am from here. I'm from Springfield, Missouri. I went to Willard schools, and my previous life experiences were as an educator, as an English teacher. And then I got really into trails and trail running and hiking. And there was a job posting, and it sounded like it could not have been written more perfectly. And so I just took a jump and ended up in here at Ozark Greenways. It's nice to be with people that everything they do, everything that they're passionate about, are things that you are also passionate about. And that's just removing obstacles and getting people outside on trails. Whether that's soft surface trails or the paved greenways, just how to make sure our community can access them and knows how.
Absolutely. So when you kind of got into the outdoor space in that sense, were you still in high school at that point, or was it kind of your later years that you got into it? And then also at the same point, what kind of kept you, like, what was it about that made the outdoors kind of magical, I guess, to get to those different places?
So it was later. I started running and I was just road running, and that was wonderful. But there was like some kind of missing element. And I'm going to be honest with you. Things I like to find outside are I like to see mushrooms, I like turtles, I like all kinds of wildflowers, and it just kind of made sense to start running on a trail as opposed to just to visiting them. And so I got into it. And also because books are sort of magical, Brene Brown's work is really powerful. And she has sections and has done TED Talks on the power of nature, and nature and healing. And so I just, of course, listened to Brene Brown and headed outdoors. And then it just became so much more than just a hobby. It became something that I really encouraged my students to become involved in. And, John Krakauer's written several novels that'll make you want to go outside or make you never want to go outside again, depending on which one. But it was an easy sell. And it was an easy sell, especially over the pandemic. So we had education in a way that we'd never had, which was completely online. So I just rerouted all of my academic expectations to nature-based education. And then as opposed to the expectation of this is a lecture, it was an expectation of going outside and observing and being able to write about those observations. And I think inevitably that's probably what my life's calling is to meld together education and that which is conservation.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Kind of that unique kind of perspective and twist that you thought of, or got the idea from, or whatever, to at least implement. As far as, hey, instead of just sitting inside writing about whatever, hey, go outside and share that experiences through your words that way, which is great.
Well, I was trying to imagine what it would be like without any background on online schooling and what it would be like to sit in front of a computer for that long. And I just couldn't. And so I just made everything about going outside. And they didn't have to spend money or go any place. It could just be from your front porch. It could just be on a really small scale. But then I was getting these wonderful pieces of writing about them trying new things. And in the end, it inspired me to try a new thing.
I'm sure the kids were like, hey, mom, don't worry about it. I gotta get, my teacher said I gotta go outside, I gotta do this stuff, I'll be back by sunset or whatever. But
My English teacher told me to go outside and collect dirt. It's fine.
that's awesome. So And then obviously, I guess after that, at some point, the opportunity here at Ozark Greenways came up. So how long have you been with them?
So over a year now, I
Okay.
joined in April, and I specifically am over the soft surface trails. So that's going to be anything with like dirt. So dirt, 66 Fellows Lake, Sac River, mountain bike trails. Those are the places I spend most of my time.
That's awesome. So, before, obviously you're kind of outdoorsy, loved being on the trails in the first place. But before this opportunity with Ozark Greenways came up, were you, I guess, involved with them like from a volunteer standpoint or anything like that? Or was this kind of like you knew about them and then now you like obviously really, really know about them? Or like what was that like?
Yeah, no, I had not volunteered with them previously, which was a huge disappointment for me and a lost opportunity because they have been doing incredible projects and building a community of not just trails, but in a community of people that understand land conservation and understand the healing nature of the outdoors for years before I was ever aware. And then growing up here, I knew that Ozark Greenways made the trails that I was running on that were paved. That was what the greenways were to me. No idea that it was so much larger. No idea, and it's not just what a trail concerns, but what they do and what Ozark Greenways cares about is so much larger. So lost time, really. I should have been, and the partnerships have been really amazing that are with Ozark Greenways of organizations that are like-minded that also care about our community, how to build our community, and making sure that it's accessible.
Yeah, and it's the kind of background of Ozark Greenways in the first place is pretty super grassroots in the beginning. I know having John and Mary on many episodes ago, but it was like the early '90s that it started, and it's still a fairly grassroots organization. But you've been able, I mean, I guess the different projects and the extent, like you said, people when you mention Ozark Greenways around here, the first thing that pops in their mind, or they might see a sticker on like a paved part or something like that, but all the trails over here that that they're either leading or y'all are leading or partnering with other people to help with that and extend. So what are some of those projects?
That is like such an exciting thing to talk about because one of my favorite things about specifically the Ozark Greenways trails and the trails that we are partnering with is people think about trails in the way of recreation, which is awesome. But our trails are unique in the fact that they are also this door to history. The Sac River mountain bike trails were built by hand by people that are still in our community. The Fellows Lake trails are opening up doors to where we're able to see people's homes, the land that they used to cultivate. And then on top of that, just a different way of life is now opening back up because these trails are going through this historic area. And then, like, on top of it, we get to, like you said, partners. The Chadwick Flyer is getting to, not only is it going to be and is an incredible trail and will bring so many community members out, but it's also showing this mainstay of communication, of people and goods moving. And without the train, without it, there wouldn't have been this, like, powerful and everyday movement of the Ozarks. And the fact that the trails can come in and not just replicate, but also open doors for a younger generation to learn about that history. That's what makes every single project really exciting to me. And that is probably because I deeply care about our young people investing in what it is Ozark's history.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to because obviously there's the recreation aspect of it, there's also kind
Mhm.
of the, I guess, transportation aspect of it,
Mhm.
people getting to and from work via bike or walking, depending on where they're at. When it comes to like planning those trails out, like if there wasn't already or I maybe, because Fellows Lake, for example, just had a big kind of expansion, I guess you would call it. I think you're still in the middle of it, if I'm not mistaken. But when it comes to either expanding on a pre-existing trail or creating a new trail, like what goes into that process as far as looking at, obviously you have cities to work with, you have
Mhm.
neighborhoods, you have, I don't even know what you have to work with, but I'm sure there's some extensive planning to go with that, right?
Absolutely. And it really, and every single project is unique in that way. Fellows Lake, the Dirt 66 Fellows Lake Trails, the landowner is City Utilities. And by the way, if anyone has not been to Fellows Lake or the trails, please do, because there's just like so much to be said for the health aspect, and then on top of it, this like removing the barriers of water as well, because what you have is you've got this safe environment. You can rent equipment if you don't have a means to get onto the water. You can fish. The watershed is there, and they are incredible partners, and also insanely intelligent about any questions you could have. And it's just it has all of the joy of water, and none of the part that sometimes keeps people from enjoying the water, which is like, these are bigger boats, there is alcohol involved. It's just a really wonderful family friendly place. But back to your point, yeah, when you're working with landowners, or you're working with the citizens around it, there are just many different friends and partnerships and help that have to exist to make it smooth and to make it go. And then, of course, the wonderful part is that there are professionals in this world that dedicate their lives to designing these trails. And the fact that you can go to Fellows and having absolutely no running or hiking or mountain biking experience and still get to nature is such a powerful part of that system.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great, and the people, I mean, it's probably kind of a no-brainer for people like, "Hey, I'm trying to expand this to do this," and because it's not like you're tearing down all the trees to build a path or what, you're building it within, what's already there, so, hopefully, there's not a lot of pushback on that when it comes to those things. Um, what has sort of been, kind of your, like, favorite kind of experiences since you've been working with Ozark Greenways that has kind of like really, I guess, stood out to you in a way? Because I know there's probably a bunch of different layers here that we could probably talk for a long time about this, but like, what are some that kind of like stand out that I guess maybe surprised you?
Oh, my absolute very favorite part is like the interaction with trail users. So at the different locations that I specifically spend my time, trail users from bird watchers to parents who are just wanting their children to get outside and get some vitamins from the sun, to like avid runners or cyclists. It's just like the amount, you could not put a specific definition on what a trail user is, other than someone who is an enthusiast in some way, shape, or form for experiencing nature. And when you go to work every day and you meet all the people that you meet are kind, that's unreal and unheard of. But of course, you're catching them at this wonderful moment of like, hi, I'm also located on this trail, and we are enjoying what is absolutely gorgeous together. So that was probably the most remarkable part, is the seeing our community and having such a positive interactions with community members. That is the part of education that I missed, was those interactions and those moments of getting to know another human being. It doesn't have to be on a deep level. It can simply be on a recognizing humanity and our need to reconnect with nature. Some of the unexpected parts are, I just really did not understand all that goes into making sure that land is conserved, that land is treated correctly, even down to the way a trail is built. It is built to, one, like you mentioned, not we're not taking down things. We're not. It's built around what is already there, and two, how do we make this a sustainable place? How do we make sure that my daughter and her daughter and her daughter are still going to be able to enjoy this area, because the trail system will be here long past when I am on this earth. And hopefully that, we all become a part of the history of that trail.
Yeah. And you mentioned, everyone you kind of encounter and meet, they're kind. That's it's nice, because everybody's there for a reason to have enjoy whatever that time is outside, whatever their activity is, and when you're working together that way, I'm sure it makes things a little bit smoother. Um, so when you mention kind of the history of it and kind of sort of like the conservation aspect of it to a sense, do y'all do any like partnerships with different schools or like different like obviously I know you build the trails, but are there any opportunities like for kids to come out and kind of get involved in that sense, like experience like what it's like to take care of these places, enjoy these places, and protect the places?
Yeah, all of that is sort of in the works. And it isn't that any trail is more or less appealing, but Fellows Lake is unique in the fact that the barriers are low, to enjoying it. It's not, I don't want to say that it's manicured. That's not what I want to say, but what I want to say is it's very well designed. It's very well cared for. You can have the most amount of experience, or you could never have set foot on a trail, and you're going to be able to read the maps located online or located at the trailhead. You're going to be able to find a distance that's appropriate. So that all opens up the ability for education to be a part of it. And especially when it comes to even the simplest things of discussing what are native plants and why native plants are so important to our water and to our community. The door is just wide open for that. It doesn't hurt also that it's absolutely beautiful. So
That's a plus. That's a plus. No, that's great to hear. So, and I know you mentioned, there's, from people that you work with that build the trails or know how to plan out the trails, because they're, for people listening, it's not as simple just saying, oh, I'm just going to cut right through this path. Like there's watershed or water runoff, and there's this and that, things that I don't know, but I know there's other things that go into that. But what are some of those other, partner, like I know there's a lot of, trail running organizations and obviously other mountain bike organizations. What are some of those kind of partnerships, over the years that you've worked with and obviously still have good relationships with?
I cannot speak highly enough of MORC, the Missouri Off-Road Cyclists. They are a group of like-minded, completely volunteer nonprofit organization that enjoys mountain biking. There's no doubt about it, but they're first and foremost about trail stewardship. So the Sac River mountain bike trails, if you are seeing someone or you're out there and there's someone working on those trails, that has probably been taken up by MORC because that is sort of their home base, but they have been helpful with all of our trails that are within the system, the regional trail system. But their partnership is, I can't say enough kind things. That they are wonderful individuals. I'm lucky to count them among friends now, and also just the passion that they have for the trails is unmatched. A partnership like that is worth so much more than I can express in words.
And you have kind of many ambassadors there. You help, or they help oversee those trails now, and they're also if maybe a new member finds them, they want to help with them, well then they're learning the proper way to take care of trails and build them and maintain them and everything like that. So that's really awesome. So, and then this particular partnership, I know this is, I want to say this may be our third time working with Ozark Greenways. And it's been great. Obviously, you all are one of the local nonprofits that we work with, so it's nice to actually be able to go out on the trails and that stuff, especially with my little ones now. But what do these kind of opportunities kind of mean for you all as as an organization to kind of help support and kind of further your mission, raise awareness, everything?
Well, okay, so many peer-reviewed studies, peer-reviewed research says that nature, the sun, and it's not just being outside, but being surrounded by that which is natural is good for one's health. I am from suburbia. I'm from here, but I'm from the suburban area. So when I think about going outside, I'm thinking about sidewalks, there is something to be said for the fact that there's kind of a gap in knowledge for an everyday person as to how do I access nature? How do I access water? If that's not a way that you were raised or something that you've been brought to know, then you may not know about the wonderful possibilities that the Ozarks has. So with Fellows Lake specifically, you've got water, you've got the watershed, a partnership, city utilities as, you know, the not just the landowner, but also incredible land stewards as well, and Ozark Greenways as stewards of the trails. Trail Spring built the trails themselves, the Dirt 66. So you bring all of these things together, and it makes for like an easy doorway for any person to get out there and improve their lives. And there isn't always an easy doorway for anything really. But here's a place that you need zero experience, and you've got people at every turn that want to help you learn about the trails or find the right trail for you, or learn about conservation, or give you an opportunity to volunteer. I think that's why this specific time that we're working together is so close to my heart, is because I see Fellows Lake as the doorway for every generation, any generation, and any person in our area, or to come visit here to experience nature on their own terms.
Yeah, absolutely. And gives them the opportunity to kind of get that taste of the outdoors if they haven't
Yes.
experienced it before. And then you make it as easy as you can there. Not that the other places aren't easy, but then they start, exploring the other opportunities and everything out there. So kind of create that ripple effect for the community, which I appreciate, which is one reason I love supporting you all. Um, so to that point, where can people find you online to learn more about the Greenways, get involved, of course, check out maps, where to go, all of that good stuff?
So our website, ozarkgreenways.org, and it's going to have the awesome part about it is if you click on trails, it's going to show you so many. It's going to show you all of our soft surface trails. You can absolutely go and get the map to Sac River. You can absolutely go and get the map to Fellows Lake. It's going to tell you, you don't even have to open the map, what the different trails are, how long they are. It's going to give you suggested things to do at these places. And then it also has the traditional paved greenways listed as well, such as Fulbright, which is just absolutely gorgeous and just won a National Trail Award. I feel so lucky that we're in this city that not only values trails, but that our trails are so well cared for, maintained, and built that they are award winning. And that makes me really proud. You know,
That's
I
pretty
don't know
awesome.
that I didn't know that I could feel so much joy and so much pride in something, and I do. I feel that way for our trail system.
Yeah, no, that's great, and it's Springfield, Missouri, award-winning trails. So,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, definitely, everybody, definitely make sure you check them out. Go grab a friend or two. Go explore Fellows Lake, some other trails. Check out the resources. But I appreciate all that you all are doing for our community, for the outdoors, and I'm really looking forward to this partnership.
Thank you so much. It's super important to us too, and we're so lucky that you've selected us. You have such an incredible business, such an incredible small local business, and to just be honored with your wanting to partner with us. That's a huge deal to us. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's all about what you all do, and it's all about community. So.